Hello and welcome back to another one. We just got back from the Vancouver regional qualifier, and I kind of want to talk about my experience there, kind of how I did everything with the content creator events that were going on, and just a general recap of the weekend. And I'll be doing that to like a background here of unboxing some Unleashed and some Origins booster boxes that I got at the event. The playmat in the background is actually the mat that I got for the premium package that I purchased. So it's a pretty cool playmat. I know people are actually a very big fan of this gin playmat, so this is a cool one to have. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I arrived on Thursday morning, and kind of all of Thursday, I spent, once I arrived, I spent practicing with some of my friends, trying to get ready for the event. I guess I should start off by saying that I came and I was playing Sivir, obviously the dazzling Aurora version of the M deck, and I put a lot of work into it. And I was I felt like I was very, very ready to take on the meta. I didn't have a lot of reps into the mirror actually until I got there, at least in paper. So I got some mirror reps and I was able to change up a couple of things. I had originally taken out a Auction to replace for a second Fading Memories, but I ended up going back to one Auction, one Fading Memories because the Auction was extremely strong in the mirror. We'll kind of get to this later, but during my event, at some point, I was running four Dazzlings at the same time, so that was quite a good time. Um, but yeah, so Thursday, just kind of getting settled in, getting paper reps on the deck because I don't have a ton of time to go to local Nexus nights, so most of my testing time is actually um, online. So yeah, it was good to get some paper reps and to meet some of the people I haven't met before from my online test group. So come Friday, I kind of have the decision on if I want to play the pre-RQ or if I want to do side events. So because I was in the content creator program for this event, I wanted to make sure that I was able to hit a few of the content creator events that were going on. And I know, Saturday was probably chopped since I'm in the main event. And then if I was going to day two, Sunday, then I probably also wouldn't have time then to play. So I wanted to make sure that because Riot gave me the badge and I wanted to network with everybody there. I decided to skip the pre-RQ on Friday because it pretty much takes up the whole day. And I wanted to do the content creator program. You kind of saw some clips of this earlier, but I played in what they called a trio draft. So that is when you get one pack of Origins, one pack of Spirit Forge, and one pack of Unleashed, and then you do draft format. I find draft format a lot of fun, coming from Fab. Basically, if you don't know what draft is, it's very similar to Sealed in that you kind of get a few packs, but what's different is that you get one card per pack. So you open your pack, you pick one card, and then you pass it to your left. And then they take their pack or your pack, and then they take a card. And basically, you just go in a circle for everybody's playing. You take a pack, or sorry, one card per pack. Then you open up your second pack, and then you pass to the right. Your third pack, and you go to the left. Um, so this was a ton of fun. I got to meet some cool people that came from like other games and big content creators from Riftbound, and it was just a ton of fun. So shout out Diana for putting this up. She was also great to meet. The events ran smoothly and they were a ton of fun. So thank you for that. Um, so I did that for Friday, and then I also did a lot of side events. Pretty much a lot of on demands. And as I said, I was bringing Sivir, and Sivir is very favored into Yi. I played just all the Yis in the world in my on demands. So, I was really excited. I was hyped. All right, this is great. There's so many Yis here. I'm going to farm them in the main event. My run's going to be nice and easy. Because I went undefeated into them. And, like it wasn't even really close. I think the like matchup for them is just pretty doomed. But I was like, this is great. I'm not seeing any yellow decks. It's just kind of foreshadowing where this is going. But it was great. It was really exciting and fun. And it was a good day to get up my confidence, going into the main event. So I did that, until about 8 or 9 o'clock. We went out to dinner, me and some friends. We actually spoke a little bit more about the Aurora, matchup while we're there. I know some of you are cringing, like, oh, Aurora, like you're just eating crayons. Like there isn't really like all that too much like to it. Which some games is true. Like some games you just turn off your brain, you just draw your cards, you just play them out, and you dragon people, right? But into a lot of matchups, there is actually a lot of thought that goes into it, and into the mirror. I actually think it's really really complicated. It's not just whoever gets dragon like wins. Um, so yeah, so we had dinner. We had some all you can eat um, barbecue, and then we actually went back to the hotel at like 10 o'clock and ran a Aurora mirror for like I don't know another 3 hours, just getting in reps. And from these games, I actually decided to switch out um, my fading memories for the auction because he was running it and it was just so strong. So shout out Dean. Thank you for doing those reps. It was very, very helpful. Um, all right, so now Saturday comes along. I do have a round one bye, and we are going into it at 11 o'clock. So I wake up, try and get to sleep in just a tad, go get my coffee, get some breakfast, and we are ready to go. Um, round my first round. So I'm now 1-0 because of my bye. I face a Rek'Sai. Now, if you don't know, Rek'Sai is extremely difficult for dazzling because they're just so fast and you just can't stop their points. And basically, they just make a bunch of dudes in a base from scoring and conquering and doing their legend trigger. And you just can't really do anything to contest it until your Aurora's out. But the issue is you play your Aurora and then they call a weak you and then you lose. Or they don't have it and they like hidden blade you and you go into contest. And you can't kill all their guys because they just have six like 2 might dudes just sitting in base, right? Um, so that matchup, I got absolutely destroyed. A fast 2-0, and I'm like, wow, man, I could have seen any deck. I think there were 24 rec size in the field of what 1850 players, and I saw one, and I'm like, okay, this is bad luck. It's fine. I'm gonna face these, and it's gonna be okay. Round two gets paired. Sorry, round three gets paired, and you would not believe this. I get paired into a second Rek'Sai. The odds of this have to be so astronomically low. Like, so astronomically low. So now I'm like starting to be on the verge of tilt. Now I'm like, nope, it's fine. We'll go. We'll play it out. It'll be fine. And I go, and the guy I play against is a new player. I don't know if he's new or just like doesn't play all that much, but he was playing kind of incorrectly, and it allowed me to win the game quite easily. But he was a very friendly guy, just kind of still trying to learn what all the cards do and like where he should be doing with them. So I was able to take that game. I'm like, okay, dodge the bullet. It's all good. Round four, Q into Inazir, another yellow deck. So we're just low rolling, right? We're just seeing everyone that we don't want to see. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm playing very well. Like there's nothing to be concerned about. Like we can win. Like the matchup isn't unwinnable, but like we're definitely unfavored. I think. Um, but I'm able to take it 2-0. All right, we're now 4-1, and I'm going into my. Are we 4-1? Three, yeah, 4-1. Going into round number six, and I face a Ari. This is my only favored matchup of the day. And this game was pretty quick and easy. There isn't much that they can really do. So take them out 2-0. Round seven, we pair into an Irelia. Now, this matchup I don't think is doomed or anything like that, but it's definitely 50-50 to 45-55, depending on the skill of the Irelia player. So it's definitely not free. It's a really hard game, but I'm able to take it down. I believe it was 2-0. And I'm feeling really, really good because now I'm 6-1 going into final round, locked for day two, right? And day two comes along. Sorry, round eight comes along, and it's a LeBlanc. LeBlanc, it's actually I saw a lot of other servers find success, but I think you need to see your early like flurries and gusts, and I just didn't see them. So quick 2-0 for him. Take a loss there. End the day 8-2. Sorry, 6-2. So I mean, overall, we're like pretty happy. We feel like we really faced the like gauntlet of all the like worst decks. And I'm like, okay, we got it behind us. Tomorrow we'll see favorite decks because like I'm telling you, Yi is free, and every time I sat down, there's a Yi to my left and my right, and not one in front of me. I was like, why can't I pair into any Yis? Um, but anyways, so yes, Yi was dodged all of Saturday, but we're feeling good. We're playing well. We go out to get some food. You know, my group that I was with did like relatively well, um, and that was all good. All right, now Sunday comes along. Obviously, I'm in day two, and I know I pretty much have to win out because my breakers are going to be terrible because I lost my round two game right into that first Rek'Sai. So my breakers are going to be really, really, really bad. And my whole goal for the event was top 64ing. Um, so yes, with a goal of top 64, I pretty much needed to go X2 with like a draw at the end, or just X2 and like that's it. So I had to win out or win out and have one draw. Round nine, I pair into another Irelia. Once again, it's fine. This matchup isn't doomed. It's just really hard. It's a very interesting set of games. I believe I take this one 2-1, and it was great. I'm like, okay, cool. We're now 8-2. We're chilling. All right, next round, I pair into another Irelia. This player is very, very, very strong. Game one, I kind of had him. I was, stripping his hand every turn, and I just looked at his hand, and I had made it a aggressive play with Sivir that I needed to do to make sure he didn't win. And off the top of his deck, he drew into a charm, and it blew me out, and I just lost the game from there. But you know what? Sometimes that just happens. Um, and then the second game, he just saw two disarming rakes, like everything he could ever want. He just top decked everything. There was no winning that game, and he took it 2-0. So now we're out of contention for uh, top 64, right? Because we're X3. We took our losses too early. Um, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. We can still top 128. I can still manage to squeak this out and get a cool Vex playmat. But I knew I probably can't go to four losses because my breakers are going to be too bad. So next round, believe it or not, pair into the third Rek'Sai of the event. I'm like, the odds of this have to be so astronomical. They're like so low because there isn't that many of them in day two to start off with. And I went and I looked, not a single Sivir in the top 10 Sivers played a single Rek'Sai, and I played three. And I'm like, the odds of this are just crazy. And then they all played like 4 or 5 E's, right? They just farmed E's all day. And I'm over here fighting for my life into these yellow decks. Um, so that was unfortunate. I actually did win game two. I like figured out if I saw two gusts early, I can stop his early conquers. I actually can win the game if I can get on the board and sit on battlefields. Um, but games one and three, I did not see those two gusts, and I just lost. So I lost that one and two, and now we're really bummed because we're X4. But I'm like, let's play it out. Maybe I'll bubble in for a top 128 map. Um, Rounds 12 and 13, I played a Kha'Zix and a Rengar. I wish I played decks like these earlier in the days. Kha'Zix actually did take me to 3 games. He is actually really fast, but the Rengar was a pretty easy 2-0. So I ended the day 9-4, um, which is sweet, right? But then I ended up going. I placed in the 130s. I forget now exactly which place I was, but I was like 6 spots from being able to make it for the Vex playmat. So that was kind of a bummer. I just barely bubbled out of top 128, but it's fine. I feel like I played really well for the whole weekend, and I feel like the matches that were in my control, I was able to take home. I thought it was very successful. It was my third RQ. It's definitely the furthest I've gone yet. Um, getting 130 something is pretty good, right? Out of 2,000 players. So I was very happy with that. The deck is actually pretty interesting once you really learn like the ins and outs of it and like what you're like supposed to be doing and how to sequence and what to look for. It's actually very, very, very interesting. But that said, I do think I'm probably switching off of it here soon, and switching to a deck with more agency into the broader field, right? Because I don't want those games where it's just like, okay, like I compare it to like a worse player, but just because of the deck that they're playing, it's usually unwinnable. Um, so I think I'm going to switch to a deck of more agency, probably Diana. Um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of how my run went. I went a little bit. It got a little bit unlucky, but it was a lot of fun. I ended up going out with drinks with my friends afterwards, and it was a ton of fun. And then on Friday, or sorry, on Monday, I just went and I sightseed Vancouver. Mainly just walked around the like seawall, and it's just absolutely beautiful out there. Um, so that was a ton of fun. All in all, trip was 10 out of 10. Obviously, we wish that our RNG went in our way a little bit better in terms of who we faced, but it is all good. My next RQ will likely be LA, um, and then that'll kind of be my last chance to top 64 to make it to regionals. Right? That's kind of the dream. But yeah, that's kind of my event in a nutshell. As I said before, ton of fun. The creator, events were going all weekend, and Diana was there the whole time, hosting them, and she's a great host. So shout out Diana, you did a fantastic job. Thank you for giving us all the opportunity to get together, network, and be able to share more content for Riftbound. But yeah, besides that, thank you all for tuning in. This one, I guess, dragged on a little bit longer than I expected. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.